Yeah, well, g'day. Just been out walking this evening, as I do, taking the little Cooper for a walk, and lo and behold, strange lights again in the sky. I'm not going to make this a long video because bloody hell, I just opened a beer and look at what it's trying to do. Bloody froth over. As beers will do. I might grab a glass for that. So I'm taking the dog for a stroll. Beautiful, clear night. It's one of these days. Lovely, lovely early spring day. Well, today's the 30th of August, so I guess it's the last day of winter. So there is that. Beautiful day. I decided to go into Lismore because, well, I had to go see the job agency. I'm trying to get a job. Still can't seem to score one, but decided to hitch in today instead because fuel is quite expensive and it's a fair drive into Lismore, and I'm forced to do it every 2 weeks. So I hitched in, and so that gave me ample opportunity to enjoy the scenery, which is great because I love the scenery. I live in a very, very scenic place, and it's just beautiful around here. And today, the chemtrails were back. I'm not a fan of chemtrails. A lot of people don't even believe that they exist. Yet I can frickin' see them with my eyes. I see them being made. I see them continuously. So it really, I don't know. I've been looking at chemtrails now for the best part of 20 years. And I don't think they existed apart from a few trials here and there so much before that. But come September 2001, 9/11, since then, the chemtrails have just been escalating and escalating and escalating. And I guess they think they're entitled to some sort of new world order. That's fine if that's what they want to do. Then silence means consent. So I've never been silent about chemtrails. But it gets to the point where you're just beating your head against the frickin' brick wall when it comes to trying to explain to people about chemtrails. They just will not listen. They cannot see, they cannot look up and see that that line across the sky is not a normal cloud. It's a beautiful blue sky. And then you get this white cloud coming across and fanning out. I mean, it's just insanity. It shits me to bits, but it's what you got to deal with when you live here in reality. It's going on. So tonight, knowing full well that the chemtrails were back again, first time I've seen them in a few days, or a few weeks to be honest. We had some rain on the weekend, so today's Thursday. We had rain on Friday night last week. Rained most of the night through, some quite heavy rain. Cleared up Saturday, came back again Saturday night. Sunday rained pretty much all day. That's the most rain we've seen in weeks. You know, we're the northern part of New South Wales where we're used to lots and lots and lots of rain. The rest of the state is still in drought, serious, serious drought. And there was talks about a rain bomb being dropped upon them sometime last week, to be honest. And so when I saw the news of that and saw it on one of the Facebook pages, I said, well, forewarned, let's get that word out. Forewarned is forearmed. And when you have the knowledge, and you're in tune with the nature. See, this is the thing about us people up here in the northern rivers is we are in tune with the nature. And we've got a lot of weapons at our disposal, not necessarily weapons as you would think in the form of boom, boom, bang, bang, shoot, shoot, stab, stab type weapons. Nothing like that whatsoever. Weapons like what's up in the mind and what is subtle energies. Orgonite. This region is flooded with orgonite. I mean, I can just show you a lovely piece right here. This is the first one I have in my bedroom. I've got several of them. This is what we call orgonite. It's made out of metal shavings compressed into resin. And what it does is creates a sort of a resonant energy that helps neutralize all kinds of things such as, you know, the Wi-Fi, electromagnetic energies and so forth that's going on. And so because this region is so alive and vibrant with this sort of living energy, I know you won't call that living, and it's not even anything like a crystal, but believe me, it's a form of subtle energy that cannot be detected in the normal, usual ways. And this is, I believe, one of the reasons why we have got some sort of defense against the chemtrails. Nevertheless, the chemtrails were back today, and I wondered why. So I went out, took the dog for a walk. We just walked down the valley over here. I'm living in a reasonably high location here, and when I walk a little bit of the way down, I love the place because it's I always think about it when the people say, show me the edge. I go and take pictures of this place because it's actually a rock wall at the edge of this property, at the entrance to the property, I should say, made with beautiful coloured tiles, which says on it, the edge. I kid you not. So when somebody a couple of years back asked me, show me a picture of the edge, I thought, all right, I'll go down there. I took a picture of it and said, there you go. There's the edge. It's written in stone. It is the edge. And it literally is. It's the edge of this escarpment, which is between the Shire of Lismore, which I just happen to live in, and the Shire of Byron Bay Shire, which used to be called Mullamshire because it's technically Mullumbimby Shire, but the Byron name somehow gives them more credence. Anyway, I live on the edge. And so when I walk down here, I walk to the edge of the escarpment and I've got the best view of the stars. And about this time, was it 1 month? I think it might be 2 months ago. It was a while back. I made a video, or I recorded a video on this device. This device will no longer record actual video or serious pictures, which is the only reason I'm doing this live. I don't feel comfortable going live, to be honest, but I'm just doing this because this is one way of recording it and making a recording of it, is that as I'm walking down past the edge, there's a beautiful view where you can sort of see over towards the coast, where you can see south towards Ballina and Lennox Head. You can't see them because it's hidden behind the local mountains. They're not even mountains, it's just the local topography. They're rolling green hills between here and there, but you can see the glow of the light coming up above it. And to me, this is something I always take note of, because as soon as I get to this point, just at the edge, this is where you walk through a bit of a forest. There's a telegraph pole right there, and that's where I always look, and bam, over to the south there's the Southern Cross. The Southern Cross is my was going to say landmark, but it's my sky mark. I look for it all the time. When I see the Southern Cross in the night sky, I feel comfortable. I say, yes, there's my Southern Cross. Now, at the moment, it's leaning completely over this way. So your top star's up here, the bottom star's down here, and you got your axis stars there. I don't care to know their names, to be honest. I don't want to know the names. I don't think the names that we have given them are necessarily relevant or applicable or something they even care to know themselves. All I know is when I see that Southern Cross, that constant, never changing in parallax Southern Cross, I feel comfortable. And there it is, and it's beautiful, and it's like, wow. And we do watch it going kind of like this, through the seasons. That's why it's now like this, just after winter, and it slowly rotates across the southwestern sky. But I saw something just the other day too on Facebook talking about octans. They call it the Southern Polar Cross, and they say the way you find it is to follow the stars of the Southern Cross to this point. It's like, how the hell can the Southern Cross be that Southern Polar Star, octans, be in a fixed point if the Southern Cross itself is facing the complete opposite way, like this, in the same part of the sky? The position hasn't changed in the sky. The position of its angular vision that we can see has changed. So if the Southern Cross itself is how you work out where octans is, then octans is not staying in a fixed place the way Polaris does in the north. Polaris is a absolute fixed northern place that never changes no matter how far you go. As long as you can see it, it is fixed and in the north. Octans, I've never seen it. It's not even visible. I don't have a telescope. And even if I did, I wouldn't see it, because if it's lined up with the Southern Cross, you're obviously not going to see it. So the reason I made this video, of course, is to talk about the strange lights in the sky. Now, I did record it the last time and made a video of the name Strange Lights Appearing in the Sky or something like that. And tonight I saw the same sort of thing. Like, I'm always looking for the lights and the moving lights and stuff. And the stuff I saw tonight, I saw some new stuff I've never seen before. But this was quite normal, quite reasonable. It looked exactly like you'd expect to see a helicopter at the same place. I saw that strange light the other day, and it was going the same trajectory, but it had all the flashing lights around it. So there's no doubt about it. Helicopter. Had to be. There was a plane coming at the same time, this way, heading sort of south to north. And as I'm watching them, even though the plane appeared to be getting higher and higher, the helicopter stayed across the same trajectory towards the east, I guess, maybe slightly southeast. They basically stayed in the same position of the sky, but got bigger and bigger in the gap between them to a certain point. And then all of a sudden the plane kept going higher and higher, appeared to be going higher and higher. It was obviously going in a parallel line, and this other helicopter light was going across. And where I was thinking was this place that should roughly be Ballina Lennox Head, maybe, I don't think quite Broken Head. I think it was further south than that. There was this bright orange glow coming up as I'm walking down the hill, and that was the first thing I saw, was the bright orange glow. And I'm going, is there a fire over there again? It really looks like there is. Or maybe there's something on. Maybe it's just sports fields lights. That could explain it. There might be a sports field place there, and they've got their lights on, and the kids are out there doing their training or something. That actually makes a fair amount of sense. It's an orange glow, a very bright orange glow. But the first time I saw it, the other time around, when the thing was in the sky, the light that I saw, the glow wasn't there at first. It was only after the non-flashing light travelled the same place that a little bit after the orange glow appeared. Okay, so it was getting darker earlier at that time of year, so maybe they didn't turn the lights on until a bit later, or the same time. It just was already darker. Makes sense. Hello, Sandra. I think I can actually see. Ah, hi all. Cool. On my other device I was using the other day, well, the messages are gone now. Anyway, um, so yeah, let's assume that this bright orange glow was Sportsfield's lights. Makes a reasonable amount of sense. Turn them on after dark. The kids do their sports, their netball, their soccer, or whatever training they're doing. Turn them off a bit. But within minutes tonight, again, after seeing this orange glow and watching this light going across towards it, the orange glow vanished. And it did the same thing the last time around too when I saw it. I was just pulling out my camera again to take video evidence of it to say, oh, now there's a weird orange glow there. And as soon as I did, it was gone. And that's when my camera's been playing up ever since, I must admit. I can't actually record video on this anymore, no matter how many files I delete or whatever. It's very selective. It will allow me to take pictures of my dinner, for example, but it won't allow me to take pictures of, say, the moon, which I took a few of the other night and posted that as well. So although the light I saw tonight itself, the flashing helicopter light, wasn't strange, the orange glow was strange in that it was there 1 minute and gone the next, and you could still see the dim glow of what obviously is Ballina, further off to the south. And the orange glow never came back. I mean, at first it looked like it could quite easily be a bushfire just beyond the hills here. But for it to vanish so quickly when that helicopter light sort of got over to it, yeah, could be any sort of reason. Could, be an emergency rescue type thing. So as I kept on walking, I start to get obscured by the trees again over in that direction, and then here's this another much brighter light coming the other way, just above the tree line. And so it's hard when you're walking because you've got to try and keep your head up, and eventually vanished pretty fast. But this one was pretty bright, and that was when the orange light was completely gone after that. And so then it's just another night walk, looking at the stars and watching how I could see the chemtrail lights, just the odd bright line really starting to obscure certain parts of the night sky, but certain parts were still beautifully clear. Absolutely unimaginable. Like, you look straight up, Milky Way, just gorgeous. And that is when I start seeing the usual, unusual lights. The first one I saw was quite bright and very fast. This one was, how would you explain it? Way smaller than a star. By way, I'd say, a quarter the size. Moving very fast, but very bright. And this one, I would say, was going that direction, which to me would be I'd say directly west to east. Now, if it's a satellite, I would think it should be going east-west, in accordance with the spin of the ball that they say we're living on. Nah, didn't see that at all. It was going really fast the other direction. Fairly normal. I see quite a few of them. The longer you look, the more you look up, the more you see these strange things. But the weirdest ones I saw tonight were barely visible. These are my normal seeing glasses. I had my super glasses on. I got these ones, the other ones, 8-9 months ago. And I can't wear them. I can't see normally with them. But when I put them on, I can see, like, pick out a leaf on a tree 200 meters away. No problem. They're like too good. the optometrist was too good. He picked the absolute supervision for distance for me with those glasses, but I put them on in a normal room. I can't see at all. I mean, I have to take these ones off to read. I can see up close quite well, but in the distance, that's where I have a problem. So when I wear these other glasses and go out and look at the night sky, I see things I've never seen before in my life. And tonight, I just managed to pick out one. I can only call it a brown satellite, if I was going to call it a satellite. It was not brightly lit at all. It was dark. It was just visible. And it went out of view at times, but as I kept on watching where I expected it to go, I could just see it again. Now this is one I've never seen before. I'm going to chart that one down to a new one. And then as me and the dog are walking back home and getting back up to where we get a better view again before we hit the street lights, where all the light pollution drowns out our supervision, I saw another one. And it was pretty much going the same direction, mostly south, I would call. It's pretty hard to know exactly because the road winds a fair bit and I don't pay that much attention to north-south. But if the Southern Cross is a deciding factor of south, I would say it's going south, slightly southeast. And again, you could just see this very faint brown light. Most of the ones you see, you only see them because they're visible light. They're actually illuminated. And you might put that down to the fact that the sun is still reasonably close at this time of night. I mean, it's only 7:50 or 7:45. I think the clock's a little bit fast, that one. 7:45 p.m. here. So the sun hasn't been too far distant across our flat plane at this time to not still be able to illuminate things up very, very high, which is, I think, why we see so many satellites not that long after sunset, when most people are still out after dark. Not that many people keep going out way late at night and have a good look, but when you do go out way late at night and still see things illuminated, it kind of makes it hard to think that they're up high enough to be illuminated by the sun. Though I tend to have to say maybe they are, because to me, I do, I go offside with a lot of people, so sorry if we can agree to disagree on this one. I do think that the moon is illuminated by the sun all night long, all the time. It's just that the side that's being illuminated isn't always visible to us. It's only visible to us when it's completely opposite the sun on the full moon night. And that's why it appears to rise at the time the sun sets. So I think if anything's up as high as the moon, it can always be illuminated by the sun. People that think the moon is its own light, I disagree. I fully do, and I've got my reasons, and I can discuss and talk and debate that all night long. It's a matter of perspective. The higher something is, the more likely it is to still be able to see the sun. I mean, that's our very reason how perspective works on the flat Earth. Anyway, it's perspective. It's this height, distance, everything works by perspective. I mean, this is the best example I can give of perspective. These two lights, let's see if I can put my finger up here. These two lines, that one and that one, and this is the third one. The third one here is perpendicular. That one and that one are parallel with each other. Absolutely parallel. The more I tilt my camera, look at that. That's just ridiculous. This one here represents the sun or the moon or anything up high. The line that they're taking while they're still going parallel. I mean, if I stood up and put my camera on it, you can see it's bloody parallel. This is how parallel lines work, due to perspective, due to height. It's the one thing that I'm constantly getting hounded with by people on the Flat Earth Experts group, which is not necessarily a flat earther group. It's actually a bit of a troll group, I guess you could say. It's run by Globers, and that's exactly the place I want to be. I don't want to be in an echo chamber with other flat earthers. I love to be in a place where I can discuss openly such things. So when you're understanding something up really high, being high enough to always see the sun, then even in the middle of the night here, what we call satellites should technically still be reflecting a bit of sunlight. So these two weird brown ones I saw tonight, I can't understand why they weren't as brightly illuminated as everything else I see, because if satellites themselves existed the way they tell us they do, why the hell would they be illuminated at all? Why are they projecting any light? There's no reason for them to waste power shining a bright light unless it's just reflected sunlight. So that can make sense in the common understanding of satellites. But I'm gonna may as well talk about it. If satellites really existed over a flat Earth, it makes so much more sense how they could be geostationary, because they're just something attached to a weather balloon or some massive helium blimp or something. Some of them might be in motion. And if they were, it still doesn't make sense why these lights we see are going so fast. But over the spinning ball model, not a single satellite makes sense. Because the spinning ball model says we're spinning towards the east. That's why we see the sun come up there and the moon and everything set in the west. The stars don't, of course. But if we're spinning that fast and chasing around the sun, I mean, we're orbiting the sun. The orbit itself says we're going 66,600 miles an hour, 1.6 million miles per day. The globe heads would like to tell you that that's just relative for some reason or other. No, we're going 1.6 million miles a day. That means the satellite that's going around us is also going 1.6 million miles a day, plus whatever speed it has to go. Say, for example, the International Fake Station, the IFS, it's meant to be going around us 17,150 miles per hour. So if it's going around us 17,150 miles per hour, and we're going 66,600 miles per hour, that means in reality it's going more like 80 something miles per hour around us. But our trajectory, our orbital trajectory, is more or less a straight line. Now our axial rotation at 1,040 miles per hour is just what we're doing, spinning on our axis. But the daily motion as we're doing this thing around the sun is quite a bit faster. Which means the satellite, if it's on our front side of our orbital trajectory, as we're going 66,600 miles towards it, it has to be travelling that much away from us, plus it's 17,000 miles around us. And then when it's behind us, it has to be going that again to catch back up, and then speed up some more to get back around us to keep orbiting us. It's just ludicrous. It's impossible. There's no possible way that any such orbiting body could keep up with such speeds. Absolutely wrong. I don't care how many people tell you this shit about relativity. They only have to remove that much relative to us. That is just the most nonsensical piece of brainwashed crap that these people believing, to think that the Earth's speed itself doesn't matter. For fuck's sake. It matters. The speed we're going matters. There's nothing relative about it. It's genuine speed. 66,000 miles per hour in a straight line going 1 degree around the sun means every single satellite has to be going that plus their own speeds to keep falling around us. The satellites I saw tonight didn't look like they're falling at all. I don't think they're satellites. In fact, the first one I saw that was this not super bright, but relatively bright one, watching it going towards the east. As I watched it, it did seem to do this kind of slight wavering type of thing. Could be wrong, could have just been me walking, but when I stopped and really watched, it seemed to be going a slightly different direction again, more slightly towards the north again. So I think they invented this term satellites to try and explain the technology that they've been using possibly for way longer than we even know. But at least since the 70s, they've told us, oh, well, they're just satellites, those things you're saying. You're uneducated if you don't think they're anything else but satellites. They're not satellites. If they're satellites and we're spinning towards the east, west to east, why the heck are they keeping up with us, going every other direction or going the same direction when they're thousands of miles away and falling around us? It makes no sense. The only way they can possibly exist is if they have vehicles of their own, propulsion methods up high in the sky over a flat and stationary Earth. See if there's any messages here. Nothing new. All good. Anyway, I'm going to go and have some dinner now. Thanks for joining in and saying good day. And I'll catch you around. See ya. I don't know how to get out of this again. Where's the button for stop when you're doing a live recording?